What the fuck?
We're on, by the way.
Oh.
The problem with YouTube is you can't go backwards. If you've never watched our YouTube show, like you can't. We can edit the podcast before it goes live. If you watch our YouTube show, then like we can't go back. Once it's live, it's live. Like there's nothing we can do about it. We don't have a delay button.
Nobody's watching though, no?
We ain't got. There's nobody on, so it's fine.
Okay.
Hey everybody, welcome to Kramer and Jess Uncensored. Let me get our music going here so we can get kind of pumped up for you. There we go.
Yeah.
Hey. 42 episodes of this. Jess, remember what they told us? Right before.
No one cared enough to tell us. All right.
That's kind of true.
No one even cared.
I told Jess, remind me to tell a funny story. Here it is.
Yeah.
That somebody actually.
Here it is.
Here it is.
All right.
I'm glad I remembered.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah.
I got a message in my DMs, and I wish I remember who it was now. Sorry, last week, and it said, "Y'all will never make it to number 42." And I said, "See, you know what I'm talking about?" I said, "Y'all never gonna make it to 42." And I said, "This is why I hate it, man."
The listener did.
My whole life.
I love it.
They're like, "You ain't never gonna make 42 episodes of a podcast." And I said,
yeah.
"Yes, I am." Jesus, what's going on, man? Welcome to Kramer and Jess Uncensored. In case you are new. We're Kramer and Jess from the radio show, but also we're real humans.
Yeah, we're just your friends.
And we talk about real stuff on this podcast, and it's wild. It's a little wild at times. So just know that before you get into this, you might hear some cuss words.
I mean,
You might hear some profane conversations, but you're already here. You press play. We got credit for your download, so thank you. I don't care if you leave at this point or not, to be honest with you.
Hey.
I don't. It's all a download, baby. No, I'm just kidding. If you want to check out our YouTube show, we go live on YouTube as well around 10:45, 11 on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Oh, our friend from Chicago is here. Hello. And so is Lexi. Thanks for being here on the YouTube show. I want to catch up first from last week's podcast, Jess, because you told us you had a conversation. You need to have a conversation.
With somebody.
With somebody.
Yeah.
Let's keep it as generic as humanly possible. There was a human that you needed to talk to.
There was a person that I needed to talk to. There was a situation that I needed to handle that was far too dramatic to even attempt to tell you the details of the dramatic whatever it was.
Well, Jess and I were trying to figure out last week, was it appropriate to apologize over text message? Because this person, human, creature, being, had sent Jess an apology, and Jess is like, this is not sufficient enough.
And then if I had a right to then call from that text.
Right. So we kind of talked it out, and how did things go post episode 41 they said we'd never make?
It was fantastic.
Was it?
Honestly. And I'm so thankful that I did it, and I feel like...
Well, what happened? What actually did happen?
Well, I called the person, and I immediately
Scheduled a time,
like immediately. And because I didn't want to prolong it anymore, because it had already been prolonged 8 months. So
it was time.
And I got straight to the point, and I said everything I wanted to say, and I felt like it was very productive, very healthy, and very mature on both of our ends.
Was it awkward?
No.
Going into it? Not at all. No?
No, because...
that person was well receptive of it?
Yes.
Do you feel like you accomplished... Because we didn't really say what happened, so it's kind of hard. Like, I know more than I need for this bit.
Do I feel like that we're able to move past this and have a healthy relationship moving forward? Absolutely.
That's good then.
And after it just made me appreciate the conversation, and also just how things need to be handled in general.
Sure.
Like, if an apology has to be made, respect the way that person is going to make the apology, but also respect the way that the person is going to receive it, and just do what needs to be done and have a conversation.
Did you feel, because I know at first you were a little miffed. Is that a word? You were a little...
Did you just make that up?
I don't know. Google it real quick. Miffed.
Never heard it before in my life.
Is miffed a word or not? M-I-F-F. Miffed.
Sounds a little uppity.
Sounds a little uppity. Yeah, miffed. How about that? She was slightly miffed about not being involved. What
does that mean?
Annoyed, displeased, offended. So yeah, you seemed a little miffed because this person had apologized over text, and you were kind of upset about that.
Yeah.
Now that we've kind of talked it out and you've done it your way, are you okay with the way that this person apologize because you know that was the way they wanted to apologize, just like you wanted to apologize via phone call.
Yes, that they were capable of apologizing.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate that and understand that, and we'll be more understanding moving forward to, you know, all situations. But I also will not back down when I need to call and like just talk out what I need to talk out. You know what I mean?
Speak your piece. Mm-hmm. I'm getting better about it. I used to be a text apologizer. And just a text handler, but I don't try to do it anymore. Post leaving San Diego, let's say the past year, there's an issue. I think I'm just more comfortable with uncomfortable conversations than I used to be. Like before, I would just kind of hide behind text. I don't know if it's hiding behind, but like avoidance. I don't want to handle it. But in the last couple of weeks, man, I've been knocking out conversations left and right that needed to be had for a long time. You know, and I feel good about it. Like I literally feel like I've been able to digest things that I haven't been able to digest before because they've just kind of been lingering.
Yes.
You know?
And there's no reason to wait for that.
But I don't know that I can necessarily get on to somebody that wants to apologize via text message. You know? I don't think I can like go in and be like, well, that's true. I don't know. We started talking about something on the on the radio show today. And I want to delve into this a little bit more because it was funny. We only had about like 2 seconds to talk about it per usual on the radio show. Jess is a little upset right now. Upset? What's the word? What's the feel? What's the emotion?
I wouldn't. Okay, it's upset is not the word. Maybe hurt.
Destroyed.
Maybe heartbroken.
All because, and if you listen to this podcast long enough, you know that.
Maybe insecure.
Maybe. I wonder what it is. I wonder if I can. Would you let my therapist friend come on and talk about this?
If you want, I don't care.
Her and I are fighting right now, so I don't know if she's gonna come on or not.
Oh God, that's so healthy. Love that for you.
I fight with my therapist.
Why? But she's not your therapist, though. She's
no,
your
she's not my therapist. She's a friend that's a therapist.
Yeah, she just happens to be a therapist, but she's your friend.
Call you. I want to figure out why you're feeling this way.
I guess. Should I wait to tell the story until we know if she's on, so I don't have to re-explain it?
I'm going to give her 60 seconds to respond. If not, then we'll go ahead. But what the emotion you're feeling is what? The best you can figure out? Is it?
I'm like sad and annoyed. Sad and annoyed. Actually, yes. Sad. A combination of sad and annoyed. Completely. Because why? Why not me?
I think she's at work right now.
Yeah, probably.
She's like out doing real therapy, getting paid for it, you know?
Yeah.
What's happening?
So, I have a 18-year-old sister. Her name is Butter. She's been on the show before. If this is your first time ever hearing about my 18-year-old sister, we couldn't be more opposite humans on this planet. Not emotional, not sensitive. Our relationship is interesting. We're 9.5 years apart, but she definitely is the more dominant.
She's tough.
No, she's strong
she's
and
tough,
she's tough
man.
And she's a badass.
Yeah.
Honestly, my sister's a badass bitch. Like honestly, and I love that, and I'm jealous of that. Like, if anyone is a badass bitch, it's my sister.
Go back to episode I forget, a few back, but it's called like Sisterly Love or something like that.
Something about that.
And
yeah, she got like a full-on leg sleeve tattoo.
Butter came in. It was like sucked the air out of the podcast because she was like,
Butter took over.
HBIC, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whenever Butter comes up on the podcast or on the radio show,
I'm a little apprehensive.
It's always a little like,
you don't know what she's gonna say.
Because she also has a history. But tell me if I'm wrong. She gets a little mean, emotional.
She's not emotional.
Well,
I say she's
but
just
the emotion is anger.
She's like aggressive, passionate.
Be careful. She might be listening. She might know. You're gonna wake her up.
I don't want to call her mean because that's mean.
No, it's not mean, but she's
blunt.
She's blunt.
Yeah.
She's blunt.
Yeah.
Jess and I aren't very blunt. Like, we can be at times, but I wouldn't consider us blunt people. I would consider her just like, just doesn't unapologetically blunt. In the kindest of ways.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what's happening this week?
So my sister does not post on social media at all. She never has been. And I don't know. And I've noticed like a lot of teenagers will do this where they only have like 1 to 3 photos on their feed on Instagram, and then we'll also like delete them, or I don't know. Again, I think it's like a cool thing that I don't understand.
Okay.
But she does that, and she rarely ever posts on her story. But in the last week and a half,
is her profile private?
Probably.
Okay.
It's probably private. Exactly. Why would it be public? No one deserves to see it, but the people that she decides.
You're not worthy of it.
But in the last week and a half, she has posted more on her story than I have ever seen her do in her entire life.
Yeah.
And it's all been about her boyfriend's new podcast. And I'm like,
What's it called, by the way?
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck it's called, but I'm not going to promote it here. I don't know.
I want to hear it.
I really don't. I haven't heard it.
I love when people start new podcasts.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's about. So that's why I'm not trying to. I don't know what he could be talking about.
That's true. Okay.
I barely know the guy. So
we're on Odyssey's time right now, so let's
exactly
be in our best behavior.
Exactly. So I see it the first time, and I'm like, that's nice. Like, love that for them.
One post.
Cool.
It's nice.
Next day, another one like that. She's actually there as they're recording, and I'm like, okay,
all right,
that's super supportive of you. And then like another one where she's like, oh, shit gets real. Like, this is so good. Like, she's just pumping this podcast up, and like she's just never like that about anyone or anything.
Yeah.
And she has never, ever, ever associated herself publicly with me in anything that I do.
Right.
So I'm like,
Jess creates a lot I have now,
a-
your mom rides for you.
My mom
Your mom
rides.
reposts everything we do.
My whole family rides for me.
Yeah.
But Butter.
Not Butter. Butter has no association. But now, how long has she been with her boyfriend?
Maybe like a couple of years.
Okay, so long. But long enough. Not like some new guy. They've been together for long enough.
Long enough. Long enough to be
She
supportive.
rides for him.
Yeah.
She doesn't ride for you.
No.
So
I'm a little pissed.
oh wait, Leah said we can call her right now.
I'm just
of
like,
course.
why? Like, does she just think I'm lame? You know? Am I lame for even thinking that way? And then I don't want to bring it up to her because I think that's gonna make me look lame. Honestly.
I just think she'll beat you up.
No, I don't want to bring it up to her because
playground.
it'll make me. That's why she doesn't like me. Because I do things like this.
So scared we're on the air right now. I think we're good.
Are we?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay, we just literally spent 5 minutes explaining the situation, but Jess is going to give you a 60-second synopsis. We need a therapist's point of view of why she feels the way she feels, okay?
Okay.
Okay, this is Leah, by the way, my therapist friend. Not my actual therapist, and this is not a therapy session, which I have to also...
This is not therapy.
Okay, for some reason we have to disclaim. Yes, Jessica.
So, Leah, my sister is 18. Yeah. We're 9.5 years apart, and, like, she's the complete opposite of me. So, like, not emotional, not sensitive, like, nothing, okay? And her and I have always had, like, I love her, but, like, I know she loves me, but she only loves me when she feels like loving me. And she never posts on social media ever. And recently, in the past week and a half, she's posted the most that she's ever done on social media, and it's all been about to promote her boyfriend's podcast. And she has never, ever, ever promoted me or, like, shouted me out or anything regarding, like, my career or any sort of content that I've ever created.
Jess, that's a lot of content.
And I just find it interesting on why I'm a little pissed about it.
Yeah. So a therapist's point of view over here.
What's my problem?
Why does she feel this way? You know, like, why? Like she's promoting her boyfriend. Like, that's what she's doing.
Well, so this is like, I always like describe like moments like these like they're the tip of the iceberg, right? Like it's like an event that like strikes a chord, but it's not all about the podcast and the promoting. It's like what's underneath there. Like, you know what I mean?
So it has it's not necessarily just this instance and all of a sudden that Jess feels this way. It's really everything else that's below the surface of like.
Right.
So why?
It's a
So
build-up.
what question can you ask Jess to like help her unpack that to figure out why she would even have that thought in the first place?
So okay. So Jess, what do you feel like when you think? So when you see these posts, like what feeling comes up for you?
Immediately, what the fuck?
Well, so that's not a feeling. That's a thought. Like, what?
No, for Jess, it's actually a feeling too. It's weird. I've seen it many times in the studio. It's very scary.
Is it anger? Is it like rage? Is it irritated?
I'm irritated and sad.
Okay, so like right. So like usually the irritation expectations, like the secondary emotion, like the sadness is usually the underlying emotion.
Yeah.
And when you think of that sadness, what do you feel like? Is it when have you felt this way before with her?
Yeah.
That sadness?
It's always like, why don't you like me?
Okay, so right, so it's just feeling like maybe not good enough for your sister.
Yes.
Or like
Oh.
you don't get validated by her even in other ways.
Yeah.
And this is just like this is one example. It's a little bit more extreme, right? But it's like not getting the validation that you might be seeking, and you're sad about wanting you want a relationship with her, obviously.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't, if you really didn't care, it wouldn't bother you, right? Like
Yeah.
you'd probably be like, you'd be able to move on. I mean, it might be annoying, but you'd be able to move on. And it sounds like from this quick synopsis that there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it's a big age difference too. It's hard to be connected to someone with that huge of age difference. Like,
but it's almost like Jess wants it. Like Jess wants it so bad to have that connection, but she's not getting it.
And we haven't been able to. We probably didn't start having an actual sister relationship until like the past like 5 or 6 years, really. Like, because before that, our age difference was so big. So when we were in the same household, I was just like a third parent, so she hated me. And then I moved away, so then like I abandoned her apparently.
Wow, this is getting heavy.
And she could, honestly, there could be, I can't speak for her, but there could also be like usually in like with the age difference, or like not the age difference, the birth order usually plays a part. So oftentimes like the younger child will have some kind of feelings about their older sibling, especially if you do have that presence and you already have this content. I mean, we don't know how she feels about that. If there's some sense of like, not jealousy, but like envy or maybe comparison, right? And when people are insecure, we don't really build a lot of, especially, well, men too, but a lot of women, like this culture is essentially, we have this mean girl thing where we like to bring each other down. I'm not saying that, but like, you're not gonna, if you're envious of your sibling or you have some sense of like complex or comparison, you probably don't want to like, promote her on your social media if you already have this complex going on. I can't speak for her, but I mean, it sounds
so you
like
think maybe Butter, her sister, feels inferior, and so she just doesn't.
Yeah.
Wow, we're getting much deeper here, Jess.
Or she just thinks I'm fucking lame.
So that's also okay. So then I'm also hearing like some insecurities about like relevance and being lame.
You're such a good therapist. Look at you.
Look at that. Was that good?
I mean, it's really good.
I'm on my way to work right now.
On the fly. That's actually was really good. Look at you.
Thank you, Leah.
That's why they paid me the bill bucks. You're welcome.
I see
I'll
that.
bill you.
Yeah. What's a therapy session cost with you, Leah? What's it cost?
Seriously?
No,
Yeah.
don't put it on blast.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, you can.
Why wouldn't she?
No, I mean,
She's good.
it's $120. That's like a typical
Solid.
price.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for our podcast listeners, they use the code Kramer. What do they get?
$119.
They get $175 because I'm concerned about the referral source.
Exactly.
Leah, I was saying a couple of seconds ago, I'm scared to call Leah because we're in a fight right now. I don't even know why we're in a fight, but we're in a fight. So.
Why are you?
I don't know. She was being a little
We're
sassy.
not in a fight.
She's being a little sassy this weekend.
If I don't, I was just doing my thing this weekend, trying to be present with my friends, and homeboy over here is thinking I'm neglecting him.
Right. Yeah, that's not you being sassy when you're just fucking doing your thing and
just-
it's not according to him. All of a sudden you're in a fucking fight.
I'm just living my life.
Yeah. She's like, I'm at lunch. I'm sorry I can't answer your 20 messages.
I texted him. He's leaving out the part where I said hi at one point.
Yeah, she said hi, and then I said hi, and she never responded.
Yeah,
I'm like,
because,
what? What do you want?
Oh my god!
What do you
You're
want
such
from me?
A baby.
Sometimes I need a therapist to deal with this friendship.
No, you're out of control.
All right, Leah, have a good time at work. $120 sessions. Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
See ya. Wow, that was a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to play a game.
Yeah.
You ready for this?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, it's about butter. Don't worry.
It's not about butter.
I want to call Butter.
No.
Please.
Well, if we talk to Butter, it has to solely just be about the podcast. It can't be about that other shit.
So what do we say?
We can't do that.
What?
We can't do that on the podcast.
Jess is having a literal.
sweating.
If you're watching the YouTube show, you just saw Jess have like a mental breakdown, like a second and a half mental breakdown. We can't call it.
Out of respect, we can't do that.
Why?
Why can't we?
Why can't we?
Because that's not. She won't like that, and I'm not gonna do that to her.
Should we call your dad?
No.
Do you think your family
That'll
doesn't
piss
listen?
her off even more.
Do you
She'll
think-
be like, "Oh, so y'all want to talk about how I fucking feel? That's why I hate y'all." No, we can't do that. I can't do that. To
I
her.
was gonna play a game. Let me explain the game to you. We're not gonna play anymore, but
Okay.
this has been a good radio bit. Ready? It's like you text me 3 phone numbers, and I just pick one to call, and like I basically like it's all the same number except the last digits change between the 3 of them, and I just pick one, I call it, and if it's her, then we talk to her, and if not, that's a good radio bit.
Yeah, that's good.
What would you even say if we were to call her right now? Would you be mad at her? Would you be like,
no, I'd be like, "Hey, Butter." She'd be like, "Hey." I'll be like,
bye? Okay, bye.
I'll be like, "Kramer wanted me to ask you."
Kramer's really concerned about how much you're promoting your boyfriend's podcast and not mine. I don't know. It's really weird. He's weird
Yeah, I don't
like
know why
that.
he's bringing that up. Like, I was like, chill.
old
I told him to
stuff.
chill about that, but he thought I should bring it up to you.
Yeah,
So why?
So I guess we will.
Yeah, I would legit just ask her, be like, "So what's up? Like, you like your boyfriend's podcast or?"
I want to know more. Will you at least text me the name of it? Because I want to listen to it personally. I'm just genuinely curious about it now.
Lexi, what's Lexi saying?
Lexi says, this is our YouTube show. She said, I'm like this with my younger cousin when it comes to social media. She blocked me from TikTok, but I got so excited when she followed me on IG. Like, oh my God, maybe she does love me.
Why should she block you on TikTok? TikTok is an open and safe space.
We had a call. Let me see if I can get this. This is a call we had on the radio show today, which
Oh yeah, this was cute.
wasn't on demand. We need to make sure it's not going into the... Here we go.
Hi, I just wanted to call in. I felt so sad because Jess feels that way. I have a twin, and he's exactly the same. And,
Really?
Like, you're scared of him,
Well,
but you also want his approval?
But wait, how old are you as well?
I'm 45.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm not scared of him. He can be an asshole. Let me just say
Okay,
that.
there it is. There it is. Yeah, it's fair.
But no, I'm always looking for his approval.
Yeah.
I always want him to be like proud of me and acknowledge me, and he's like, "This is exactly why I don't, because you get on my nerves."
Exactly.
Because
See?
you're too much.
No,
And
yeah.
that's okay. That's
No,
true.
if I say this to her, she'll be like, "This is literally why I unfollow you on Instagram."
Exactly. Why I have nothing to do, and he'll even go and he'll say, "And this is why I say the stuff I say to you." Now, funny thing is, I have a daughter who's 17, and she is exactly like him. I'm like, how did I have my brother?
So
Oh, God.
do you think you're always trying to
My
get your
older
daughter's?
daughter.
Are you always trying to get your daughter's approval too?
So, yes.
No, you just want a relationship with her. Oh my God, do you think that's gonna happen to me?
I think
like
so,
my kid's
yeah.
gonna be like just not emotional.
I feel it.
Like not affectionate.
I'm calling it now. I'm calling it right now.
Yes, and it's crazy because I'm a really outwardly affectionate
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, same.
And
Me too. We're
my
the same.
twin, he is not. My
Yeah.
daughter, she is not. I'm like, where did you all come from?
Right. Who are you aliens and why are you in my life? We're not
No.
related. I must be adopted.
I will cry.
Because Jess, I mean, I feel like your whole family's kind of like that, right? In a sense, like you're obvious.
I'm the only one that's like me. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
But luckily, I have another daughter, and she's exactly like me. But it's like, I already know you love me. The other one, I got to figure it out.
That's so funny. There you go. That's from the radio show. Did you know I had to beep out asshole on the air today?
Yeah.
Did you catch that? I didn't know if you caught it or not.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Let's take a quick commercial break. Okay. I'm wondering, go with me here, and I'm going to say this as non-politically correct as possible because it's the only way I know how to say it, and then we'll
Alright.
work backwards because we're in a safe place right now, right? I feel like I can say this without getting canceled. Can I? Can you say anything anywhere without getting canceled?
No, you can't. But let's proceed.
I am wondering if I need to go on a date with an ugly girl.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Jess's face.
I've canceled you in my heart. In my heart, you're canceled.
Do I need to go?
You're such a fuck. Oh my god.
That's the way I'm gonna preface this conversation. Do I need to go on a date with an ugly girl?
What is your problem?
So, by now, I'm sure if you listen to the podcast, you have a pretty good understanding of my dating life. But quick summary:
if you're new, it's messy as fuck. Carry on.
It's messy, but I feel like it's becoming cleaner the more work I'm doing recently.
Good.
You know, which I'm actually really proud of. But as I'm uncovering truths, it's not pretty. Not pretty truths.
No, you're shallow.
It's just truths, right?
Right.
So
takes a lot to admit that.
I did it, yeah. But I mean, I have to. I can't just hide behind it anymore, right?
Right.
So I did a podcast actually with Leah. I think it was last Monday on Certified Mama's Boy, and it was basically about what we uncovered was that. I mean, dating apps, social media, like dating is so shallow nowadays, period, you know, because I think society in general is so shallow, but dating really has come down to like looks first and then everything else.
I mean, I mentioned it like in our ideas where Kramer and I email each other the night before the show, and I came across this old show on YouTube. Someone was reviewing it, and I think it was called like Hot or Not. I think the show was in 2003, and the person literally walked up and you went meh, or like if they didn't think you were hot, and then they would pick you apart, like you need to tighten up, you look like this, and then they would walk away just completely shattered. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I cannot fucking believe that reality TV was this terrible. But then I'm like, hold up, this is literally like swiping left and right, and it's just as fucked up, except this time people get to hide behind a screen.
Yep. I think it was actually probably better before when at least you had to like own your words, you know? Was that the one where they had the laser pointer and they would actually like go through people's bodies?
No.
You didn't see that? I don't know what that show was called, but they had a show where they would bring people out on stage and like they would literally have a judge. It was almost like American Idol of sense.
But but then like features,
but
like
then,
physical features.
What they would do is they would literally have a laser pointer and like point to their bodies and be like, no,
what's wrong
you've
with
got
it?
too much. You don't have enough gap between your legs. Like you don't like you have too much underarm flab. You need to like get rid of that. It was so terrible. But I mean,
but it's like that's literally how it is now.
So you got to remember that my first marriage, a big benefit to me was that my ex-wife was hot. Okay, and like,
what percentage of would you say that's the reason
hindsight,
why you got married at that? Also, how old were you? 24.
I was 24 when I met her. 26 when I got married.
Yeah. So, what percentage of you making that decision of like dealing with all the other issues that were there, like of her being hot, where you were like, well, she's hot, like I like whatever.
Well, I don't know that I necessarily thought it like when I was going through criteria, but I think subconsciously,
no, of course,
it was there. So. You have to remember that I grew up fat, awkward kid made fun of all the time, right? And I'm sure it's one of the reasons why I'm in this profession today is because it was like, oh my God, I can be the cool radio guy.
You're in control of the attention.
Yeah, like look at me, like they have to love me if I'm quote unquote locally famous, right? Like
right.
I'm sure that's had something to do with it. I always just say I love doing radio, which I do, but I'm like, how did I get here in the first place? You always have to like go back, right? And I'm sure it's because I was the fat, awkward, nerdy kid in high school, and it is what it is, right? So then I became Kramer. And Kramer was cool, and Kramer and I remember, especially when I first started doing radio, y'all, like I tried to act so cool. Like I really put on like this like I'm so freaking cool. I'm like the kid that always made fun of me, you know. And so I'm sure like when I actually had a shot with my wife, I remember thinking I was like, there's no way. This girl's so out of my league. Like, this is so out of my league. And so I remember when she actually was like, yeah, let's date. And I was like, this, like, ego-wise, it was like huge, right? So now through like my divorce, 10 years later, when we were married, and I kind of realized that we were kind of falling apart because there's not much really there between the two of us. We were very different. She was always a good friend, and she was always funny, and I liked that about her, and she was hot. And she came from a lot of money, which I liked because it seemed like it was going to be a nice little, it's all the wrong reasons to marry somebody, by the way. But that was like at 25, 24, that was like what I was looking for,
Yeah.
So, okay, get divorced, whatever. I now am dating again and are not really so much right now, but have been off and on now but the first thing that always goes to my mind is how hot is she? Like, how hot is she? Like like literally I'll see girls and I could have conversation with them, and then in my mind just be like, she's not hot enough to be my girlfriend. Like, that's a dangerous fucking thought, right? This is just me. This is just me. I'm just spilling it for you guys. This is literally
the complex that you have.
I'm not proud of it, but I'm just being honest with you. Here it is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but she wouldn't be hot enough to be my girlfriend. Like, come on, that's crazy. So I was talking this out with Leah because like even when you go on social media or dating apps or whatever, it's always like I don't read profiles.
You just look at pictures.
It's picture. Hot, not hot, not hot, not, you know?
Right, just like the show.
Yeah, basically. And so Leah and I were talking, and so I was like, why? Like, I have such a complex, like a visually attractive complex, but that's not what I'm looking for, like, in a relationship at all.
Yeah.
Like I think you have to be attracted to somebody. Let's not sit here and be ignorant, right? Like, you have to be attracted to somebody physically. But, like, I'm looking for, like, influencer style women,
right?
Typically shallower.
Yes.
Typically shallower women that are all about how they look and all about how many likes they got and how their pictures are edited and da 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 da.
But then want to be fully accepted and as who you are.
But it's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone that's much more like spiritual, soulful, like a lot different than I was when I was 25. Right? Like I know what I want, what I need, and that's what it is.
In a person.
Super compassionate, like super loving and giving and everything that not necessarily goes with what you might consider a stereotype of like the hot girl, right? So when Leah and I were talking on Certified Mama's Boy, what we came down to was that basically my the way that women basically the woman that I'm seeing with is like a status symbol to me.
Yeah.
You know? So like
because that's what your previous wife was.
If I don't have, like, I wouldn't be successful, obviously, if I had an unattractive partner. Okay, like that's like subconsciously what's going on, right? This is all like this, not in the forefront, but the background. When you really delve into it, that's kind of what's going through my head. Is like, what will people think of me if I don't have a super hot spouse? So. With that said, now I'm wondering, because I get hit up by people often. It happens, believe it or not, but that I don't necessarily find them physically attractive. I'm not like, wow, you're attractive. Like, wow, should I just like take one of these women that I find not as attractive and go on a date with them? Even though knowing that I don't find them that attractive in the first place. Hear me out, Jessica. I'm coming from a good place here. But do I need to go on a date with an ugly girl just to see if I can, like, get past it? Ah!
You got to stop saying ugly girl. That's fucking first off. That's the most disrespectful shit on the fucking planet. So that needs to stop.
But honestly,
yeah, I think you need, and I also think this will help you too with your language when you say maybe I just need to go on a date with an ugly girl.
Well, I'm saying that to get us into a bit.
No, I get that.
Take everything I just said over the last 7 minutes and but
I also know that's in your brain though. And if we are just being honest,
I don't like, think anyone's ugly. I just don't think they're as attractive as some of the other women that I would prefer to date. Attractive wise.
And that's fine. So I think that you just need to remove that and try to explore people as people. And then
But how do you do that in 2021?
I think you have to base it off of the conversation first. And it's weird because I was watching a different show and like they have a concept in the show of a dating app where you can't see pictures of each other and just to see like if it would work out.
Was that
Ted Lasso?
Oh no! What's that dating reality? Love Is Blind. Did you watch Love Is Blind?
I've never
it.
watched it.
Same thing.
Yeah, basically like that.
Right.
And
I don't think anybody actually worked on that show, by the way.
But what I'm saying is, I feel like, if you have nice conversation, focus on that first, and then you go and hang out. And I think that has to be at the forefront. And then if that connection is there, then I think you can factor in the attractiveness because you're not wrong. There has to be some sort of attraction there.
That's what I can't get through right now. I can't figure out
But that is
how in the world you get past that when you're just not attracted to somebody, but they could be spiritual, soulful, yogi,
because
vegan,
that's your number one.
blah, blah, blah.
Because that's your number one, and that's always been your number one. And you need to remove that because all the other things that matter are secondary to you, and those have to be first because those are the things that truly make you fall in love with somebody. And so the attractiveness just has to be pushed to the side for a second in order to get to know these things. Because, like, I was talking to a friend of mine, and, like, she met this guy, and she was telling me all these kind of quirks about him. And she's like, they're kind of annoying. Like, I don't know if because he didn't look like the idea of the man that she thought she was going to end up with in her head. Yeah. And so I was like, you know, you don't, like, at least for me, like, my best friend Stephanie, I at first, when I first met her, we weren't like initially like, oh my God, you're gonna be my best friend my entire life. That took time, and now I cannot imagine my life without her.
But you're not trying to sleep with her.
No, but
that's the difference.
No, but I told my best friend, I was like, my other friend, I was like, listen, how about you just spend some time to see, because those quirks are actually the things that you're supposed to love most about that person. And if they continue to annoy you, then maybe you move on. And now she's literally like head over heels over this guy because she gave it some time and she wasn't so focused on the shallow and the surface, because this is gonna go away.
Garage Boy's not ugly.
No, he's not, but that wasn't the first thing I noticed about him.
The first thing you noticed about him is how you hated him.
Yeah, exactly. I did not care about how I didn't give a fuck about what he looked like. Yeah. And then when we met and we had some time together, I was just like, I really like talking to you. You're funny and you make me feel like I have butterflies in my stomach. And then after, like, the way he looks kind of played into that. But those were the things that were first. And then the attraction, honestly, was after.
I just don't know how to get past it. That's why I'm wondering, do I just...
Yeah, you just need to start going on dates with people.
Take a girl that, like, I don't necessarily... I'm not attracted to.
Yeah.
And for the short version of the story, for someone I don't find attracted. Mm-hmm. And then go on a date and then see how I feel? Yes, because then you can say, I tried it out, I wasn't feeling it. And then I think that's what dating needs to be for you. Would you feel like shit, though, if you were that girl? Yeah. So that's what I kind of feel bad about, right? Like, is that like a real dick move? And if I'm like, I'm literally going on this social experiment to see, can I date an ugly girl and not die? But it shouldn't be, but it's not a social experiment. I think you've been so brainwashed. Like, you are brainwashed. So you just need to learn how to spend time with people and be normal. Brainwashed, what do you mean? I just feel like I feel like you're brainwashed in the sense that you think looks and is like the most important thing. No, but I don't. That's the problem, I don't anymore. Well, I don't. But it's like old school programming that's hard to get over sometimes. That's what I mean. Yeah. So you are brainwashed because you're still trying to get out of that version of yourself, and like the whole idea of a trophy wife or what other people are going to think of me if I'm seen with this person, that shit needs to go away too, because that doesn't matter. Maybe I'll go out with an ugly girl just once and see how it goes. I'm genuinely curious about this, and I'm not trying to, like, I'm just saying ugly girl just to, like, get to the point here, but, like, wow, I don't know. I'll think about it. Let me think about this week, and maybe, like, I will go out just one date. It just feels crappy if I know, like, I'm not even attracted to her. Okay, Darren, by the way, says, Kramer, you need to check out the Netflix show Sexy Beast. Have you seen that, Jess? No. And maybe try to get on it. I don't know. How does Sexy Beast work? I don't know how that show works. Lexus on our YouTube show says someone's personality can end up making them more attractive to you after some time, too. Yes. I don't disagree with you, Lexus. I completely agree with you. But you're not even getting to that point. But how do you get there? If, like, immediately when I see you, I'm like, you're not that cute. You know, like, I'm. Because I think you have to be like, I want to get to know you. That has to be the priority. Like, who are you? I'm curious to see who you are as a person. And isn't that what dating is supposed to be? Like, who are you? I need a dude to sound off on this. Actually, I did. I had a great call from one of my Certified Mama's Boy listeners who was saying that he kind of went through the same thing, and what he had to literally do was surround himself with, like, what he wanted, meaning, like, he would unfollow any kind of like swimsuit models.
Yeah, social media
And,
fucks you
like-
up too, and porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of all that, and then, like, it made his perspective more clear. I'm like, well, I'm not giving up porn, so, hey!
All right.
Ha!
Yeah.
I'd rather date an ugly girl.
All right. We'll just remain delusional.
And we're off the rails. And just like that, folks, we went off the rails. Da, 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 da. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Really appreciate you. Queen Pam, hi. Michelle, thank you. Roxana, thank you for joining our YouTube show. We'll do it again next week around the same time if we're not late.
Woo.
Jess, how do we find you in this podcast that may or may not be coming back?
The podcast is Lowkey, and my social is at Jess Do It, JESSDUITT.
Michelle, I don't disagree with you. Michelle on our YouTube show says, I agree with Jess. Get to know the person for who they are and not how they look. I get it. How do I get to that point?
You just do it. You stop being a dick. You stop being a dick.
I wonder what I'd rather do. Date someone ugly or give up porn? I really don't know.
And honestly, you're fucking brainwashed. Porn is not ever going to be your life. It's never going to be your sex life. It's never going to be that.
It might be. I'll keep looking.
Okay.
Whoa, Roxana! Before we get out of here, jabs are being thrown over here for no reason.
Wow, look at that.
For no reason.
No, but you see though, I'm so happy.
Roxana, uncalled for.
I'm so happy.
Too low.
I'm so happy she brought that up because she is bringing up something that actually means something to your heart, and you have to look at it like that. You will die for that dog. But
Okay,
but Kiki is not.
You have to read the comment first. Most people listen to the podcast.
Okay, Roxana says Kiki isn't the most attractive dog, but you love her hard regardless.
You're
It's
wrong.
not not about appearance. It's about connection. To you, she is the most perfect,
She's so
beautiful
cute.
dog on the planet.
Everyone loves Kiki. Don't you dare.
But she's not.
Kiki was ugly. I'd give her the pound.
But she is to you, and because you guys have had 12 years together to get there. And so you need to do what you need to care about people the way you care about animals, honestly.
Kiki's not ugly, though. That's the problem. She's so cute. Tell me she's not cute.
She's not the cutest dog on the planet.
I will. If anybody ever said that, I would.
I love her, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I will send her to the shelter.
But I love her because we have a
kill
connection and a relationship. You better screenshot that comment and really sit with that, because thank God, damn.
Kiki's different. She's so fucking cute. All right. I got a podcast called Certified Mama's Boy. It's a little messy at times. My mom's great. Leah's great. She comes on Mondays, and that's it for today. I'm that guy Kramer on Instagram. If you ugly, come through.
Bye.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.